Hey watchers campers, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we will share with you a question that is being asked by a hobbyist in the US. His name is Matt, and he actually bought some deep blue boats from his local fish shop, and actually at $40 a piece, and to realize that they are actually the lowest possible grade. So over here, what we are actually wanting to share in this video is that there are a lot of breeders and sellers out there trying to sell something that is being traded. Either they buy it at a low price and trying to say that they are a high grade stream at a certain amount of dollar value. And he said that now he is not able to trust any of these companies, and the reason is because there is a lot of scams within the stream industry, and that's actually not very helpful in terms of the growing of the entire community. I have been in that position, and that's the reason, that is one of the biggest and main reason why Stream Sanctuary actually existed, is to actually help hobbyists to differentiate or to learn to get more information so that they are able to get information to make informed decisions. So that is very, very important. That's the reason why Stream Sanctuary exists, for that sole purpose. And for Matt to actually encounter this is not something that is very special. It is very prevalent in a lot of in the global context. I've been to Europe, I've been to the US, in Asia as well. I've been a victim as well. So there is a lot of things going on behind the scene. And one of the reasons for them doing it is not because the sellers actually purposely want to say that, I want to sell you a bad stream at a high price. The reason is because there is not much information being shared. Like for example, a breeder who breeds them and then sell it to a middleman, and then the middleman tries to breed them and then sell it to another breeder, and then it keeps handing off the stream to the next person without much quality control. And the reason for that is, for every time a breeder breeds them and sells it at a lower price to cover back their margins or their costs, they then tend to start getting lower and lower. And of course this thing comes both ways. A lot of hobbies want to get it at the cheapest price. A cheap price for a good quality product or a good stream. And I think that is very, very difficult. Good quality streams do not just come like this, and they require time to actually select, and they do not just go boom and then you have like 50 good quality streams in your tank. So that's not going to happen, and that's the reason why the price of a lot of these streams actually goes up. And you can actually see that from a lot of my streams. So over here we have to do a lot of selections, and of course between the secondary line and the main line, there's a lot of big differences. So actually these are all the secondary line streams, and they are of course being sold as secondary line. They do not, they still look fairly decent. However, whenever we do sell them, we actually sell them telling the customers or the hobbies that these are all secondary line. So I think, coming back to my story about and how it's being relatable to what Matt has actually shared, is that the Black Fancy Tiger is the one of the stream that actually got me into the hobby. And over here you can actually see that the Black Fancy Tiger, just wanted to share with you guys about the Black Fancy Tiger. And we actually can see that the Black Fancy Tiger get its name from being black, right? A Black Fancy Tiger that is white is not going to look really nice. So you can actually see these are all the Black Fancy Tigers. These are all the babies that come out. So you can actually see that they do come out fairly in a uniform pattern, whether it's a little bit more black, a little bit more white. However, there is none that looks like a crystal black stream or crystal whatever stream. So I think that is where the difference the differentiation actually occurs when you have a good quality source and the breeder actually take its time to actually breed them and breed out to actually see what they look like before they actually being sold. So I think that is one of the major difference between what we have over here in Shrimp Sanctuary. We always focus on delivering the best value that you can actually get. So not only this shrimp, we can actually look around. I'm actually going to turn on the light because there's a lot of reflection over here, and you can actually see that these are the black ninjas. These are the black ninjas. These are the one-stripe black ninjas, and we have the pure white line. The four-band is a bit dark because I off the light to prevent reflection. You can actually see that these are the center. These are very common streaks, and you can actually see that they are of a certain, and we try to always maintain that high quality, because if it doesn't go past me, I mean, if I don't want to keep them, I wouldn't want to sell them. So I think that is where the difference in a lot of breeders. And over here we have the mainline red starter. So over here we have the main line versus the secondary line at the one that we have seen earlier. The difference is that the patterns are very, very consistent across. Even the babies are consistent. So what makes a good stream in terms of when you are going to buy a stream? What are some of the things that? So one of the things that you actually have to look out for is the babies. So if you have if you are able to actually see the babies, I'm just going to put this down. If you are able to actually see the babies, then you are actually able to understand that the streams will how the offspring or how the babies actually will appear when you breed them. So of course, you know, if the breeder is unable to tell you or unable to show you, then it's going to be very difficult for you to believe them. And what should people do during, like for example, if you're going to go to a local fish shop and then you're going to purchase some of the streams at a, let's say like what Matt has, like $40 a piece of deep blue boat. And so I think one very important thing is that while they may not be looking very well, I think the bred, you have to breed them out. And if they really do not look well, then definitely, you know, there's something not right with it. I wouldn't say that it's entirely Matt's fault for not for trusting them. I also wouldn't fault the local fish shop for doing that as well. Not because that they intentionally, maybe they don't even know that. However, I think as a seller, you will have to understand and learn the sources as well. The cheapest doesn't mean the best, and so on and so forth. So it is very important to get a good source, and that's the reason why I've been always been trying very hard to actually reach out to a lot of these you guys, especially the cardina space, because the cardina space it has a lot of streams that can be mixed together. They do a lot of crossbreed. They may look like what it is. Like for example, I saw a post in India's stream Hobbyist, and we actually see that the bred out of a black fancy tiger is a crystal black line or a crystal black stream. So a crystal black stream that comes out from a black fancy tiger is not a black fancy tiger, because the output of all the babies, as we can see in the picture or the video, is a crystal black. So whether is it a crystal black, you know, a crystal black could, I mean, the crystal black is really mixed. That in itself, there's two things that I actually get out from that video. Number one is that the breeder the hobbyist isn't aware what's going to happen, and then, you know, when things keep passing down along the line, if the person believes that there's a black fancy tiger, then it keeps selling to the next person and the next person and the next person. So the entire chain, it becomes a snowball effect. The entire industry will suffer in that sense, because the community will get, because what's the difference between paying for a crystal black stream and a black fancy tiger then? If the babies are going to be crystal blacks, there's nothing. There's not much different. Why are you paying more for the same thing? So there are two things. One is the hobbyist, the level of the hobbyist. Number two is that the seller is leveraging on low price to actually sell it to the person. So it comes down to whether it comes down to the individual seller, because for us, we will not do that. The thing is that we always breed them out before we actually sell them, to actually see the quality of the streams before we actually make a decision. It could take a year, it could take 2 years to actually get to that point. And that's how we actually continue to maintain a quality, high quality standard. And there are a lot of people who ask me, do I sell my cows? Do I sell all this and that? I do not do that. And the reason is because there is no benefit for us to actually retail a cow or a stream that's really bad in genetics, or a mix that may look like something but it's not, and and teaching people the wrong thing. That's not how that's not our direction. However, there are a lot of other companies that does it. They do it with the thought that willing buyer, willing seller. I understand that from a business perspective. However, we must also understand that whatever that is being sold down the line as well. So it doesn't stop there, and it keeps selling, it keeps breeding, and then it keeps selling to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. And in the end, the quality of the stream is being diluted so much that the entire industry is being affected, because when A sells to B and B sells to C, and by the time it reaches GHI, hobbyist, the quality, the genetics of that has already been washed out so many times that G could probably not, the breeder G would not probably trust H or I or J or K. It gets worse and worse, and the entire industry suffers, because and there becomes lesser and lesser people who enjoys the hobby, because they understand that, they realize that eventually I get scammed. When I get scammed, I do not like it. Like, for example, if you purchase a car, you can actually see what's the engine, you can actually see the specs and everything. You won't buy a Honda car and then it becomes a Nissan, for example, or vice versa. Everything it is. But for streams, you would not be able to actually, break them open and then see them what's inside. So you can only trust the source, and then eventually you will then breed it out, and then you'll be able to actually then see what it is. By then, it could be too late. By then, you are already in the hobby, you are already telling people that you have black fancy tigers, but they are actually not black fancy tigers. That is what creates a lot of people who quit, and those sellers are still keeps selling those type of streams to people and allowing that to happen. So that's the reason why we don't do that. Granted that we do not have as much sales, but that's fine. And the reason is because we wanted to build a community where we want to build the breeders up and then not to tear them down. I think that is very important. Like, for example, a hobbyist like Matt in the US, who have probably not much information that he is able to actually get to. So that's also why he makes a decision to purchase and say that, okay, I want a high grade deep blue boat. And then he actually got not a high grade deep blue boat and paying a high grade price. And that is very prevalent, like I've mentioned in the very beginning of the video. And it is not helpful to the industry. But this doesn't stop, because there's a lot of other streams. There's a lot of cow streams, there's a lot of streams that they do not want. So as a breeder, we have a lot of other streams, but what do we do with them? If we give them away, it's a lost cause for them. You do not earn that money. However, for us, it's just like, if you're going to sell it, it's not going to benefit the entire industry or benefit the community. Even though you want to like sell it for cheaps, you have to then let the person know that this is being bred before, being crossed before, it's a project stream. You do not want them to think that it is a high-grade stream, for example, in Matt's case. However, we also can understand that the price is going to be high. If the price, I'm sure a lot of people are willing to pay for the stream at a good price, at a high price, provided it is what it is. And of course, there's a lot of logistical cost, inflation and all that. However, we have to understand that a deep blue boat, if it's bred out in the US and it has been selected, I believe it can be a high grade, and $40. It is slightly high, but if it's really high grade, we have paid $125 of deep blue boat per stream. If it's really high grade, so I think the quality is very important. I think people are willing to pay for the quality, because I always come back to this this note by Benjamin Franklin. It says that the bitterness of poor quality lingers long after the cheap price. The sweetness of cheap price is forgotten. So yeah, so I would really encourage breeders to actually reach out to me, and then for this video, try to share to as many hobbies as possible, so that we can actually share all this information with hobbies, so that they do not get scammed in that case. So thank you guys for watching this video. It's a bit long, so appreciate the support as always, and for those who are new to this channel, please remember to subscribe, and until next time, peace out.